First, I'd like to start by thanking you all for joining us here tonight. Anybody speaking at a rehearsal dinner, the first thing they're supposed to do is tell how they know the groom. I met Dan a long time ago, okay? And shortly after I met him, we had many interesting chats. I did most of the talking, but he still won most of the arguments. Razor wit, keen logic. Nothing much has changed. We still have arguments. He still wins, but I don't mind. I enjoy it. Okay? I wanted to say that shortly after I met Dan, we became housemates. Okay? Been close ever since. Okay? And very proud of him. And he's all the things that I could ask for in a son. Okay? We have a lot of shared memories with him. Most of them good. And we're happy that we're all here tonight. Okay. Before I begin, again, I'm Dan's dad, as you might have figured. I'd like to introduce our co-host, my wife Ellen. All right. Okay. I'd also like to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Capel. For those of you who haven't already met them, our hosts also for the weekend. Okay? Okay? We can easily say without my wife or Mr. and Mrs. Capel, we wouldn't be here tonight. Okay. True. All right. Mr. and Mrs. Capel, I want to say that you have accomplished and a fantastic daughter, and you have every reason to be proud. Okay, we too, as parents, we're very proud of Dan. He's given us, he's served as a good example for his siblings. I'm very proud that all of them get together fantastically. They look out for each other. And I'm just glad to see us all here tonight with no bloodshed and no food on the walls. But the evening is early. The evening is early. Okay. On behalf of Kate and Dan, I'd like to welcome all the guests who traveled a long way to be with us tonight. I know that each of you is an important part of Kate and Dan's life, whether family or friend. And all of you being here just makes it, that much more special for all of us. So I know a lot of you did travel a long way. Some of you I didn't even meet before this evening. But I think I can comfortably say that we all share something in common. First, we all share the fact that we're here out of love and respect for Kate. Kate, you're a beautiful, intelligent, and hardworking person. I can see why, Dan has made the decision he has. Okay. The more I get to know you, the more I see that, you're, warm in personality, strong in character, and keen in mind. Okay. And that I can see that the two of you get along great, unless you're at the corner of Powderhorn and Powderhorn. Inside joke. All right. Okay. Well, to me again, it's obvious, that you two are together, that you again get along so well, and I can't fault you for that. The more again I get to know Kate, the more I can see that, I like her because she knows just when to laugh at my silly jokes. Now, I'm not sure, though, whether you do that because you're just being polite, you just want to impress the in-laws, who knows? But nevertheless, I can see we share the same offbeat sense of humor, and I can't fault you for that either. Now, for Dan, we're all here for you too, because we're just absolutely amazed and astonished that you're going to get Kate to say I do this weekend. Okay? But we can't fault your judgment. Good fortune, sound judgment, and we can't fault you for that. So, without further ado, again, let's toast to the bride and groom, our newest Mr. and Mrs. Wait, we're not done. May you all live happy and healthy lives. We wish that for you, all of us. Yes? But we also wish that you have numerous children, who love their parents but adore their grandparents. Congratulations.
Okay, so preface, I didn't put as much time into this. I always like to come up here and say things like this. However, I like the pressure of not knowing what I'm going to say until I get up here, and there's a spotlight on me and I have a microphone on my chest, so we'll see how this goes. But I guess the rules of the road are, say something nice about each of the people, maybe a little story, a couple jokes, and then sit down before people get too bored. So I'll go with that. So honestly, a little bit of age difference between Dan and I. He was always, like 4 years ahead of me, so he's always leaving the school that I was coming into, so we never really in the same place at the same time. But he always had a bar set real high. When I was in elementary school, in the gymnasium, there was all the school records of like fastest 100 meters or 50 meters, whatever he did back then. Dan had, honestly, you may not know this about him, but he had like 5 of the records for like fastest kid. So I had to see that every day coming to school, looking up there, knowing that I was not fast enough probably to beat any of those, and I wasn't. Because I think they were still there, honestly, until I graduated, which is impressive. But he always set the bar really high. One of those people that you looked up to in every aspects of life when we were kids, and in school, getting to great colleges, did real well in the Boy Scouts and growing up in sports, where I was just mediocre at all of them. So, it balanced out. So the time we spent together growing up wasn't as much, but as we moved on through life, the one thing I really am thankful for, and my dad pointed it out, is that all of us get together now more than we ever did before, and we have a great time with each other. We're all very fun-loving people, like to have a good time, like to drink, like to hang out, and you can tell by Dan's voice he's enjoying himself this weekend. So just another proof of, when we get us all together, even my mom and dad, it's always a fun time and a probably a disastrous mixture sometimes. Kate, actually, first time I met Kate, and I won't go too much in depth of it, but we shared a cab back from Preakness, and she probably doesn't remember it, but I was visiting my sister driving through Baltimore, and went out to Preakness with them, and I first time met Kate, and I knew that she was going to fit right in with the family. She was also a fun-loving person, and seemed like she liked to enjoy life and all the adventures that go along with it. So now, as we get older and growing together, I just see that you guys are pretty much perfect together, and she fits great in with our family and our character and our sense of humor. And I know you guys will keep each other on each other's toes and continue to have fun as you grow old. So, toast to you guys, congratulations, and to many more years of happiness. Cheers.
I guess I'll go next then. So I'll preface this by saying that I did try and prepare, but some of the things that I wanted to say got shot down. So I'm reworking in my head as we go. So if you see me afterwards, just be nice, say kind words, and say I did a good job. Yeah. So I guess I like to just tell stories also. I can remember, obviously I'm a lot younger than Dan, so when I was growing up, I think he was already in school. But I remember the occasional, he would come home for a weekend and I'd do something to annoy him. And I think one time he broke my glasses and I purposely went to Mom just to get him in trouble. I was fine though. But he paid me back, when another fun memory I have of him was Laura had a really terrible blue, I don't remember what it's called, the car that you had, yeah, Michael's old car. And Dan one time came home and let me drive it around the block the entire time. Mom, Dad, I don't think you ever knew about it. I was like 12 years old, and I just drove it around the entire block, the whole deal. Not sitting on his lap or anything, it was all me. And that was a fun time. And it's always great. I had a lot of fun times going into the city when I was in school and hanging out with him for a weekend. It was a great time. And I honestly don't remember the first time that I met Kate, but I'm sure we had fun because every single time since then, whether it was last year at New Year's, we've always had a great time together. And I remember one time at the treehouse, Dan, Kate, and I spent some time out in the hot tub, and I was trying to keep up with him drinking scotch on the rocks, and I just could not. But it was a great time, just spending some time alone with them, and I can tell that They really make each other happy, and I'm very happy to be here. I got to save the date for this wedding while I was in Ranger School, so I expect a thank you note sent to me in Afghanistan for the gift that we get you. But I'm just very happy to be here and share the weekend with them.
I know, I'm well prepared. I'm not prepared. And to follow on Mike's story, Kate has a wall of trophies in her room. I just want to let everybody know that I grew up facing that. So anytime anybody has visited her room, they're always very intimidated by like all these swimming and like trophies everywhere up there. But the story that I was going to tell tonight is that you may not have known this, but before Kate was a Wall Street executive and I was and I was a starving nonprofit worker in Washington, D.C., we actually had budding journalism careers as the editors-in-chief of the PC Gazette, which I believe had an official circulation of 3. My mom, my dad, and I think my aunt Stephanie, who's not here with us tonight. And yeah, she's here. No. And so like every month we would prepare this newsletter of what was happening pretty much with the 4 of us. So we all knew what was happening, but we would prepare it. We would go on the computer, we'd pick out all the clip art, and we would then print it out on the printer with like the little holes on the paper that would come out, and we would distribute it. And although that newspaper is no longer in circulation, it's all online now. Follow us on Twitter at PC Gazette. I think that today our headline would probably be "Welcome Dan to our family," and we're so thrilled to have you. I have no idea when the first time that we met was. It probably was also a very good time as well. So to you guys and to everyone, thank you so much, and I'm so happy we're all here in Bermuda. Cheers. Thank you.